Welcome to Networking Arizona with host Carol Blonder. You'll hear interviews with businesses located throughout the valley. Networking, it makes a difference.
So we're back. My next guest has been on before. I want to say that I'm so happy that you have been with us. I have with me Marti Burton, and she is the owner of Personalized Nutrition Concepts. I want to talk a little bit about this first. It's the summertime. It's like everybody right now, it's 90 degrees out there. We all put on a pair of shirts and we're going, oh my God. I want you to tell everybody what you do, because you got to see her, guys. She's absolutely fabulously beautiful. But tell everybody what you do.
Well, I write individualized programs, nutrition programs, to help people in several different areas. I've been a nutritionist for over 25 years and specialize in weight loss, or help people gain lean muscle tissue and lose body fat. I do a lot of clinical nutrition, diabetes, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, intestinal disorders, whatever the case may be. And then a lot of sports nutrition. I work with a lot of marathon runners, triathletes, bodybuilders, swimmers, cyclists.
But anybody. It doesn't matter, because
anybody.
You're going to talk about something very special today. Let's talk a little bit about what you want to talk about.
Well, I want to talk about the misconceptions around carbohydrates and weight loss.
Okay. Please help us.
I have so many people come to me that want to lose weight. And, of course, when they come to me, they have tried at least 5 to 10 different times to lose weight. And a lot of those times include programs where they severely limit their carbohydrate intake or leave it out altogether. And I'm just here to educate people on why it's important to have carbohydrates and some of the consequences associated with leaving them out of your nutrition plan when you're trying to lose weight.
Right, because there's a lot of people that have thought about not eating carbs, but there's good carbs and bad carbs, right?
Sure. Obviously, you want to stay away from the refined sugars. Anything with an "ose" on the end is going to be sugar. So, your glucose, dextrose, maltose, lactose, things like that have a lot of sugar, is sugar. So you definitely want to limit the amount of refined sugar and go more with the complex carbohydrate. Most people know the difference between good carbohydrates and bad carbohydrates, but what they don't know is the right amount of carbohydrate for them to get the desired result.
And that's why you do these individualized programs. You're going to also offer, we're going to give away one program. Mm-hmm. Now, there's no dollar amount I can put on this because it's different for everybody. Right?
Right.
So that's because it's individualized. It's a 4-week program, and we're going to open up the lines for everybody to get entered in to win one. And our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Everyone who's calling in is going to get entered into win. You can check her out on her website. It is, it's PNCAZ.com. So it's for Personalized Nutrition Concepts. So it's PNCAZ.com. You can also Facebook her, and you can check her out there as well. She'd love you to friend her, I'm sure, and like them. And also you can call her direct at 602-980-5958. And our lines are open here. Our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. Anyone, there's so many people out there that we're all, we've gotten a little overweight, and it's very hard. And especially if you're older, right?
Sure.
So, because a lot of us have that problem. I don't know what the reason why is so much harder after you turn 50. What is it? Why?
Well, I think men and women have trouble losing weight after a certain age due to hormonal changes. Men tend to drop in their testosterone levels, and women, their estrogen and progesterone levels start to shift a little bit, and sometimes the byproduct of that is weight gain or water weight gain, more importantly.
We all wish it was all water weight gain because that usually goes pretty fast, but it doesn't really seem to be. That's what it is, because it's not happening fast for people, and everybody wants it to happen fast.
Right, and that's why I think they go for the no-carb, low-carb type of program, because it appears fast on the scale, but what's happening to your body composition is unbelievable. I mean, it's really a severe consequence. And I would love to discuss that a little bit and really educate people on what's happening.
Go ahead. That's what we're here for.
All right. So, well, first of all, let's talk about the role of carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are the main source of energy for the brain. Your brain needs them to survive. So carbohydrates break down into smaller units of glucose. Glucose is what fuels our brain and keeps it alive. Now, when your brain doesn't have enough glucose, it will go into these auxiliary fuel sources, such as ketones. We've all heard about ketones, right? Mm-hmm. People have tested their urine for ketones.
I've done it.
And it has been a part of a program for many people, which that is fine. I say try everything, but see how it works out for you in the end. And typically, people do that, and they test, their ketones, and they want to go into ketoacidosis, but that's actually very dangerous for the body to be in. It makes your body very acidic, and an acidic body leads to inflammation. And we all know that chronic inflammation is the underlying reason for most chronic diseases that people have. So you want to keep your body more alkaline and keep that inflammation down. And so when you have an acidic body, you tend to have more inflammation. So that's one way the brain can stay alive, but you don't want to do that for very long. But that is an auxiliary fuel source that the brain will use. The next thing that the brain will do in times of not enough carbohydrate is it'll go into, I'm going to use a big word here, gluconeogenesis. And that's just a Latin term for the brain making glucose. So what happens here? This is very fascinating. So since your brain will always get glucose somehow because its job is to keep you alive, it'll start going into your muscle tissue. It breaks down the muscle tissue for the protein. Protein breaks down into smaller units of amino acids. And those amino acids can be converted into glucose to fuel the brain. So when someone steps on the scale when they've left out carbohydrates, that looks fantastic because muscle tissue is very heavy, dense tissue. But it's also our metabolic tissue. That's where our metabolism takes place. So to have a fast metabolism, you have to have a lot of muscle tissue. But when your brain starts breaking it down because there's not enough carbohydrate that you're taking in, it looks great on that scale. But I can tell you this, if you're losing 5 to 10 pounds a week, you should be nervous, not excited.
Wow. Mm-hmm. I would love to lose 5 to 10 pounds a week.
Of body fat. However, that's not what people are losing. They're losing some body fat, but mostly they're losing water weight and muscle tissue. And so eventually what happens is when they start eating carbs, because you can only deprive yourself for so long before you want carbohydrates, they end up binging on them. All that weight comes rushing back, but now they've lost their muscle tissue, and it comes back on in body fat. And they'll do this 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. And they'll be like, I'm successful. I know how to lose weight. But that's not what's important. What's important is you can lose weight, but most importantly, are you maintaining it? Are you changing your metabolism? And are you changing your body composition?
And are you keeping it off? That's what we really want.
Keeping it off.
Exactly.
And are you doing it in a way that you can maintain it?
Now, she's been doing this for over 25 years, and your website is, again, PNCAZ for Personalized Nutrition Concept, so PNCAZ.com. You can also call her direct at 602-980-5958. Facebook her as well. And our lines are open here. Everyone who's calling in, and we have our callers starting to call in now, everyone who's calling in is getting entered in to win. It's a 4-week program, and all you have to do is call here at 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. If it's not for you, maybe you know somebody. This is good for children. This is safe, obviously. And so it's good for anybody. And our number here again is 602-277-5369. And toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. You have an office here, and is it in Scottsdale?
I have an office in Scottsdale, and I have an office in Arrowhead. So one in Gainey Ranch, one in Arrowhead, but we work all over the country via Skype or phone.
Right. Now, again, we're going to go to a break, but when we come back, we're going to talk further. You can call her at 602-980-5958 or call in. Get entered in to win at 602-277-5369.
If I traded it all
We're talking with Marti Burton, and she is the owner of Personalized Nutrition Concepts. We have our lines open here. There's a 4-week program that you're giving away. Everyone's getting entered in to win. It's a personalized program, so there's no dollar amount that we can put onto it because it might be different for you than it is for somebody else. But everybody's getting entered in to win. Our number here, we have started getting our callers. Our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. Before we go into this one that you want to talk about, I just have to say, why is it so important, really to work with someone like you instead of just, let's say a lot of people buy the book about carbohydrates and all of that, and then they just use that. What's the difference about coming to someone like you?
Right. So there's a lot of great programs out there. I would say what is different about coming to me is it's not a cookie cutter, one size fits all. Sometimes when you read information out of a magazine or a book or somewhere online, it's the same amount for everybody, whether you're a 230-pound man or a 150-pound woman. It's the same across the board. So what I do is very personalized to the individual. Everybody's carbohydrate needs, and protein and fat for that matter, is different. Everybody has a different requirement based on several different factors. Just to name a few: body fat, activity level, age, height, weight, gender, hormones, are your adrenals. So many factors go into what your nutrition prescription would be.
I like that, nutrition prescription.
Right.
And it is true. It makes so much sense. How did you get into this?
Well, when I was in high school, I started off from New York, so I started off pursuing a business degree, which I'm glad I did because I run a business today, and that was wonderful. But I just had to sit back and ask myself, what is it that I'm really interested in? And I started really thinking about everything that I picked up to read. I was an athlete in high school and also had a very severe sugar addiction in high school. So I was naturally gravitating toward information about health and wellness. And then I thought about medical school, and I'm like, no, I really want to be about prevention. So then I thought, nutrition. So that was a long time ago, and have pursued my passion for over 25 years now in this field.
Our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. You could check her out. It is pncaz.com, and Facebook her too. Like her, she'd love that. And get yourself entered in to win an individualized program. It's a 4-week program just for you or someone you know. So at the break we were talking about there's consequences about carbs.
Sure.
Too little, too many. What the facts?
Okay, the facts are everybody knows what the consequences are to eating too many carbohydrates. We love them. They're delicious. They make us feel good. They increase a neurotransmitter, a chemical in the brain called serotonin that makes us feel happy. But the downside of that is they fall off very quickly, and then we're crashing at the bottom again. So the consequences are obviously stored body fat, always hungry because carbohydrates turn on that hormone ghrelin, which is our hunger hormone. Also, if you eat too many carbohydrates, you're producing another hormone called insulin, which carries carbohydrates into the cell for energy. However, if you eat too many, the rest, insulin will store it as fat. So when you're always turning on these hormones, insulin and ghrelin, you're constantly hungry. You're chasing that hunger all day long. And you're also chasing that sugar and carbohydrate addiction of needing more and more and more. So the consequences are diabetes, high cholesterol, high body fat, high blood pressure. All of the chronic diseases out there, the top diseases in our country could be directly related to eating too many carbohydrates, in particular refined sugar. So, but then there are consequences, like I just discussed, to eating too few carbohydrates.
I was just going to ask you, because a lot of people we know the Atkins diet. Everybody knows that one. There's a lot of other ones as well that do them. But it isn't necessarily healthy to do that, but is it a good idea to maybe do it for a short amount of time or not at all, just go straight with something like, where you actually give the right amount of proportional correctness, however you say that?
Right. You can see just as much benefit in loss of body fat, inches, and weight by eating the right amount of carbohydrates for you as you can as leaving them out. What you think you're seeing on the scale by leaving them out, but what you're seeing on the scale is a loss of muscle tissue.
What can happen besides something like that if you're not eating enough carbs?
You can become dehydrated. You become deficient in B vitamins. And, of course, fiber, insoluble and soluble fiber are so beneficial for health and disease prevention. And also losing muscle tissue and going into ketosis, which isn't a healthy state for your body to be in. It's very acidic. And so in terms of what I do, I see great benefit from people starting off on the right amount of carbohydrate. So you have to eat the right amount for you based on many different factors. And most importantly, slow them down into the bloodstream. And there are several ways you can slow them down.
Her phone number is area code 602-980-5958. It is pncaz.com, which is for personalized nutrition concepts. You can also Facebook her. We've got everyone who's calling in getting entered in a 4-week program. It's an individual program just for you or someone you know. Again, our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. Here's the thing that everybody wants to know. Marti, tell me what to eat. Because that's what they want to know is what to eat. You could tell everybody, just don't eat enough carbs. I want to have a list, a year long, because, sometimes you get a little bit tired. You might give one for a week and then, you get bored.
Right.
I want a year long. What do you do?
What do I eat?
Yeah, no, I want to know what you do for people. Do you give them, what's in that program? Got to know.
Right. Okay. So what's in the program is I design the exact, like I said, nutrition prescription for the individual based on what I find out in the assessment. And then they do get a list of foods. These are foods that you eat every day, whether you're eating out, traveling, or staying at home. This isn't some crazy food intake program. But what people don't realize, and this always cracks me up, your brain does not know that you're eating bread versus broccoli. It doesn't say, oh, this is bread. We're going to go ahead and store this as fat, or give her a bloated tummy, or give him a bloated tummy. It doesn't say this is broccoli, so we're not going to store this. It just sees carb units and how fast they enter the bloodstream, and vitamins and minerals and fibers. So if you like bread, enjoy it, but choose a bread like a sprouted grain, like an Ezekiel bread. I happen to love Dave's Killer Bread. It's just
Dave's Killer Bread sounds great to me.
Right. You just have to eat the right amount now, though. Your brain does not know you're eating bread. So I hear so many people have a gluten intolerance, and that may be the case, but more often than not, they just have a bacteria imbalance in their gut with so many symptoms of bloating, gas, all of those things that we associate with maybe a gluten intolerance. And very few people in this country have celiac disease, which is a severe gluten intolerance and cannot have any gluten. But if you look at the ingredients in gluten-free foods, the quality of starch that they use in those products is not of the highest grade. So I would recommend anyone.
Should we be baking our own or going to where do you get Dave's, what is it?
Dave's Killer Bread. It's great. I love it. I just had some this morning. I got mine at Fry's. It's non-GMO. I mean, Dave's going to love me right now, but
that's okay.
Non-GMO.
But I'm just saying, people want to know this, and you're going to be doing that for them. But here's another thing that we want to talk about real quickly, too. This is an interesting topic. Mm-hmm. Sweeteners. Should we be using them? Or not, artificial sweeteners?
I would say absolutely not.
Okay, so what do we use? If we can't eat sugar, we can't use that. What are we using? Nothing.
Well, you can use stevia. Stevia is a great alternative.
Yeah.
Non-nutritive sweetener. And stevia, I think, is great. But artificial sweeteners, the brain, the information out there is a little bit convoluted about artificial sweeteners, but I'm of the opinion that it has the same response as refined white sugar in the body. The brain sees it just like sugar. It deals with it just like sugar. That's why people who drink diet soda can still be overweight, because you still get that insulin response. The brain goes, this is sugar. What do we naturally do with sugar? And handles it that way.
What does somebody expect when they come and see you? What is the first thing that you do? You do an assessment. Let's talk about that real quickly.
Well, when they come to see me, they expect to feel better, look better, and get the result, get the goal, the intended goal.
Absolutely. Now, your assessment is quite long.
It's very detailed. It takes about an hour. I cover a lot of areas, from brain chemistry to hormones to adrenals, you name it, we're talking about it. So it's very broad and detailed at the same time. So it gives me the full picture how to work with this individual on an emotional, mental, and physical level.
And she has 2 offices. One is in Scottsdale. The other one you said is in?
Arrowhead.
Also, she can work with anyone from anywhere. Now you can Skype and do all those fabulous things with everyone. So you can call her at area code 602-980-5958. The website again is PNCAZ.com, or call here. Get yourself entered in to win. I'm going to let you call throughout the rest of the show at 602-277-5369.